We are not doctors. Nothing in this podcast should be taken as medical advice. Consult your physician before starting any workout routine. This is the Martial Heart Podcast.
Hi, how's everybody doing? I still have to work on that. I don't know what to do about that intro. It's weird. It just like cuts right off. But I guess that's for another day. I'll worry about it some other time. I have a long weekend, so maybe I'll deal with it this weekend. But anyway, it's the day before Thanksgiving. Tomorrow everybody's going to overeat and nap and probably drink and do other things that you would normally do on a holiday. Sorry, for those of you watching, I keep looking over here. I have to double check all the recordings are taking place. So yeah, I'm going to do all those things too. And we're going to have family over, and that's if the weather holds up. They're predicting some snow, but it's late in the day. Probably shouldn't be that big of a deal, and it wouldn't be that much anyway, I don't think. So it should be all right to get everybody over here and have a little feast for the Thanksgiving. It'll be good. It'll be fun. Holiday season. It's always fun, to get everybody together and eat too much and then have to go work out extra because you're eating 4 times as much as you should. But it's been a short work week, so nothing of note other than cardiac rehab. And so it was a little bit different this week. I mentioned before the elliptical and getting on the wrong elliptical the first time and being told, you should probably try the other one instead. And I only made it for like 15 minutes on the elliptical and did the rest of the time on the treadmill. So Monday, I got on that elliptical with the determination that I was going to stay on it for the entire 30 minutes of cardio. I wasn't going to get off and switch machines or anything. So it was surprising to the rehab specialist people. I really don't know what their titles, their work titles are. They're the rehab gals to me because they're all women, but they're all lovely and nice, and they come around while you're doing your things and talk to you and look at your readings and everything. And it was, you're going to stay on here the whole time, because they noticed that I was at like 16 or 18 minutes. And I had been breaking everything up, 15 and 15. And I was like, nope, I'm staying on here. I'm going to stay on it. And any particular reason why? And they're like, because it sucks. And that's why I'm going to stay here, because it sucks. And I get weird looks because of that, but it's the motto. There's no struggle. I can't. For those of you listening, I keep having to say that because I'm doing a video for YouTube, and my shirt says "No strength without struggle," which is a motto of mine. And so I took it to heart this week, and Monday, I really went at it. And then Tuesday, I had to go back and do it again because I have cardiac rehab Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, which means we won't have it this week because Thursday is Thanksgiving. But last night, Tuesday night, I went back and I did the same thing. And they asked, are you going to stay on this all night, or are you going to switch machines? I said, nope, I'm staying right here. I'm going to get on here, and it's going to hurt, and it's going to be good. So I did, except this time I decided to do a little extra crazy. And every 5 or 6 minutes, because there's a pace that you're supposed to keep. They tell you what your pace should be and all this stuff to keep your heart rate within the range that they're looking for. So they wanted me to keep this dial or this reading on 50. I don't even know what it meant, but they said keep that on, around 50. And it would usually be around 52, 53, somewhere around there. It's really hard to keep it on exactly 50. So every few minutes, I would just start really going 3 times as fast. It seemed 3 times as fast. I would start basically like I was running on the elliptical, and it would crank up to 70, 75 on whatever this thing is, the readout. And I would do that for 60 seconds, and then I would slow back down to the 50, and I would wait, a few minutes, and then I would kick it back up to 70, and I would do that for 60 seconds, and then come back down. And it has a heart rate monitor on it that you can, because we wear a heart monitor, but I don't see any of the readings. It all goes to their iPads and stuff and their computer systems, so they're looking at them. And I always ask what it's at, things like that, but otherwise I don't see them. And so most of these machines have a heart rate monitor on it where that you can grab it with your hands and it'll tell you what your heart rate is. And it was getting up to 130, 131, somewhere around there. And then coming back down whenever I would slow down, which is fine. And it's not in my peak, what they said would be my peak. And I think it's around 135. They don't want me to go that high. So I was a few, beats per minute away from them coming and telling me that I needed to slow down or stop or something like that, because they really don't want me to go. They don't want me to exceed what my target heart rate is going to be. So, but they were looking at the readings and they were like, hey, you know what, you were at 131 and nothing bad was going on. And whenever you slow down, your heart rate immediately starts dropping back down. And so they didn't see any issue with what I was doing. So next week, Jacqueline is going to start working with me on doing some interval training. So I'm going to be doing some running. It's going to be, I don't know if we're doing it on the elliptical or if we'll be doing it on the treadmill, but there's going to be some interval training where there's going to be some fast walking and then a period of jogging and then back to walking and then jogging to see if my knees can withstand it. So that'll be next week's cardiac rehab, which I will probably need after a 4-day weekend and after a Thanksgiving feast, and then having to eat all the leftovers and everything else. I'm going to load up on carbs. So I've got to work out this weekend. There's no doubt about it. There's no way to get away from it, because there's no way. If I don't, I'll be putting on 5 or 6 pounds before I go back to cardiac rehab next week, which I'm sure wouldn't shock anybody, but I don't want that to happen. So I'm going to, I'll have to work out and stuff. Probably twice, over the weekend. I'm not going to overdo it because, you know what, it's a holiday weekend and I deserve to have a break now and then too. But, work was work. That's, what are you going to say? It's a job. So it was, but these kind of weeks are always interesting because you have two types of customers. One is panicked because this is the one of only 2 times of the year that they're closed for a long weekend. And so they don't know if their systems are intact or fully operational, so that they can close up and everybody can be gone for 3 or 4 days without having issues or without leaving a building unsecure or unsafe. So we get a lot of, in the few days before like a long holiday weekend like this, we get a lot of calls of, oh, my system's having trouble on it. Can somebody come and look at this? We can't arm the building because, and when you get there, you find out that it's been going on for months. But now it's important because they have to lock up and leave the building vacant for 3 or 4 days. And it's something that they normally don't do throughout the year. So they really don't care. And some of them are staffed 24 hours a day. So it's not that important. They're not actually arming the whole building and stuff as a security system. So they don't care until somebody's not going to be there. And so you have to go and resolve issues that have been there for months, but that it didn't matter. Or you have the people who made scheduled appointments who now just don't show up. So because it's a short week anyway, and they decided, I could take an extra couple of days off and just not show up for these appointments and stuff. That's usually like the only 2 kinds of customers you get during a holiday week. So it'll be this, And then Christmas week, we'll have the same thing. We'll have those same types of customers we'll go deal with. And but it is what it is, and it's the same way all the time. It's the same way every year, so it's not a surprise, and we're all ready for it every year. We know we're going to show up there and what we have to deal with. Like, oh yeah, this has been like this since August, but it didn't matter until now. So can you please fix it immediately? And hopefully it's something that you don't have to order parts for, because that's a hard thing to tell the customer. Sorry, no, you should have had us out here 6 weeks ago, and we could have ordered these parts for you, but now you're just screwed. So good luck, and then you leave quickly. You get in your vehicle and drive off. But so other than that, the week wasn't, interesting. It wasn't extra tiring. It wasn't anything extraordinary, except, I got to, I have a guy I work with at work. He's new, and he's, technically he's my assistant. And, so I've been teaching him the trade. He already came from the trades. He was an electrician. He worked as an electrician, but he's a young guy. And so it was a lot of, he's learning the business, and a lot of the times he's just doing it, and I don't have to do that much. I just watch him and give him some tips now and then. But it's it's great. It's good to see, because he's learning, and he's gaining his confidence. When you see that in somebody, when they can just approach something and go, oh yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, and then I think I'll go over that, and we can connect this way and do that. And he's like, what do you think? And I'm like, do it. Yeah, let's do it. Or you do it and I'll watch. So it's good. And I'm kind of proud of him. Yeah, he's doing good. And which means he probably won't be my assistant very much longer, because he's going to spread his wings. And he's a very capable guy, so he really shouldn't be working as my assistant for too long. He needs to be out on his own, and out there doing his own service calls and stuff, because he's fully capable of doing that. And then we'll just have to get me a new assistant. So I'm going to be the part-time assistant guy, I guess. I'll have people, just a rotation of people. Oh, you're going to work for this guy for 6 months, and then spread your wings and fly. It's time to kick you out of the nest. But yeah, I like teaching people, so it's fun for me to get new people in and have them spend time with me, so I can educate them on how I would prefer that they do their business, which isn't necessarily the way everybody else wants it done. So imagine that. I have a very peculiar way I want things done. Surprise. But yeah, so it was a good week. I have no complaints, other than, I really did intentionally kick my own butt at cardiac rehab. But I was kind of enjoying it. I really was kind of enjoying it. And the thing for me is that how do I explain it? The cardio, I don't get out of breath. I'm not panting for oxygen. I don't have the problems that I would have had before, which would have been, being short of breath, because I smoked. So I didn't have really good lungs, to be able to sustain that kind of, oxygen movement in my body. And with the bad circulation, because of the arterial issues and stuff, I never would have been able to do this. And so now with the stents and the cleared out lungs, because I quit smoking, it doesn't burn in my chest. It doesn't do any of the things that it used to do. So now the only thing that I have to deal with when I'm doing it is the muscle fatigue. That's it. So my legs will get tired and get fatigued, and they'll start to burn. You get that, what is that? Anyway, you get the things in your muscles, and it starts to burn and all that. I'm going to forget all of the things about physiology and stuff that I used to talk about all the time. So anyway, that's really all that I have to deal with, is that muscle fatigue. And so once the muscles strengthen, or get used to this type of exercise that I'm doing and doing more of it as far as the, maybe jogging or spending more time on an elliptical type machine. Then once I get past that, that muscle fatigue and get the endurance built up in my legs, I don't know what'll happen after that. I guess all of a sudden I'm a runner. I don't know. But we're going to see if my knees can handle it. I don't know if they can or not. Or I'm sure I can do it, but it's going to hurt. And depending on how much it's going to hurt afterwards, we'll decide if I'm going to be a runner or not. I'm not 100% sure I have the desire to be a runner, but finding out if I have the capability of doing some running if I want, I think is important. At least it's important to me. And I'm not really sure why. Maybe it's just because I don't want to be a runner and I'm taking everything to the extreme right now where I'm like, this sucks. Let's do it. This is too hard. So let's do it some more. This is a challenge. This is going to challenge me too much. It's going to hurt. Okay, let's go do it. And I'm really just kind of throwing myself into that kind of mentality where I know it's going to suck. So, in the military, we had a saying, embrace the suck. And that's not really what I'm doing, because that was just more like tolerating, what was going on and what you were going through and what you were having to deal with. This is more like, I think I'm intentionally challenging myself because there are new limits now. I used to challenge myself all the time, but it was always something like challenge myself to lift more this week, or challenge myself to improve this technique that I was working on, or I want to learn this new choke. So I would spend time studying it and practicing, and I would try it in class and all these other things. So I was always challenging myself, but this is more of an actual physical challenge with limitations that are no longer there, like the lung capacity and the circulation issues and the leg going numb, or all the things that would happen because I was a smoker. I didn't have good lung capacity and my circulation was bad. So now that those issues are resolved, those limitations are no longer there. So I don't know where I can go from here. I really don't. So I don't know what that means for me in the future, but I might be the new Jack LaLanne. And if you don't know who Jack LaLanne is, it just means that you're way younger than me. And you should look him up, because we used to watch the Jack LaLanne show where he would exercise in his house with a chair and stuff. And it was like, there was really no comparison at the time, I don't think. But he was like the first fitness guru. And for those of you who are too young to remember, or, didn't pay attention back then, but he used to do these at-home workouts. It was just body weight exercises, and he would use a chair for different types of leverage and things like that, and calisthenics, and, just body weight exercise things. And it was pretty amazing when I think back. It was pretty good advice. He was a very fit guy, and into his 70s, he was performing these feats of strength, like towing boats behind him when he was swimming, down some river. And he was in his late 70s when he was doing something like that. He was towing boats that had people on them, and he would do these sorts of things to just show that age was just a number, and you could be healthy and fit and strong into your later years. And it was great. It was magnificent. And nobody can compare to that today. I don't care who you are. I don't care how many TikToks you've got or how many Instagram followers you have. If Jack LaLanne was alive today, he would have more followers than anybody. If he had been alive in the time of social media, it would have been magnificent, and it's a shame that he wasn't. But I just remember watching that when I was a kid. So who knows? Maybe the last 20 years of my life, I'm going to be like that. I'm just going to be making sure that I stay healthy and fit, and I'll be out there swimming and towing rowboats behind me that have people in them. I don't know. Probably not that, but who knows? I might actually be jogging. That would be enough for me if I was just jogging, in addition to doing other things. And hiking, going for nice long hikes in the mountains. We don't have mountains here in Ohio, just so you know. I would have to travel somewhere to go find a mountain. And I don't know. Yeah, we'll see. Maybe that's what I'm doing. I'm just prepping myself because I want to do different things now that the limitations have changed. I'm sure I still have limits. Don't get me wrong, and I'm going to hit them pretty fast. I'm pretty sure, but they're different limits. So now I have to explore them. I have to figure out where I'm going to be and how I'm going to do it. So you'll be along for the ride if you keep listening or watching or whatever, because I have nothing better to do than put it on the internet for everyone to see, all four of you. So thanks for watching and listening and participating, for my 4 loyal fans who are all related to me. But yeah, maybe somebody else will see it and they'll get inspired to do something instead of sit at home and eat potato chips and die of a heart attack, because that would suck. That would just totally suck. But another thing about that is I don't talk about it all the time, but other people talk about it, and I think people are trying to look out for me. But I ran into a guy yesterday, and he was like, "Oh yeah, your partner was telling me that you just had a heart attack and stuff." And I was like, "Yeah." I don't know why other people are telling people that I had a heart attack. I'm not the one who brought it up, but maybe they're trying to look out for me. He's going to just watch for now because he had a heart attack, but I don't ever just watch. But anyway, it's kind of funny that other people are bringing it up and talking to me about it. Oh, you had a heart attack. And it was kind of interesting because this guy was talking about his family history, and he has a family history of high blood pressure and stroke and things like that. And so, he's probably a little bit older than me, or at least he looked it. Maybe he just doesn't look good for his age. I don't know. Don't tell him I said that. But yeah, he was talking about being concerned about that because his parents, his mother, and other relatives had all had these issues with high blood pressure and strokes, and so that was his big fear, was having a stroke. And so I don't know what he's doing about it. It didn't seem to be doing anything about it other than expressing that he had a fear of these things. So who knows? Hopefully he's got some good medical people looking out for him and helping him navigate that. But yeah, anyway, if me having a heart attack will help other people discuss their health, and if I can encourage people to go see their doctor if they have some concerns, then hey, that's a win-win for everybody. Makes me feel good to help somebody out and encourage them to do something about it. And if somebody takes the advice and goes and sees a doctor or a specialist and figures out that, hey, we just stopped something that was potentially deadly, hey, that's it. It'll all be worth it. All buying all this audio equipment and making a fool of myself on the internet would all be worth it, I guess. Just if we could just save one person. I don't know. I really need that song. The song from the Puppies. Yeah, In the Arms of the Angel. We need to get the rights to that so I can play it in the background while I'm doing these little closing rants. But no, I'm just kidding. No, nobody wants that. Anyway, I'm going to go for now. And, everybody have a great Thanksgiving. I'm probably, I don't know. I don't think I'll be recording anything on Thanksgiving Day, but you never know. I might go do one of the conspiracy shows. Maybe I can find some conspiracies about Thanksgiving that we can discuss. I don't know. Maybe. I'm going to have time, so I know I'll be doing some more podcasting over the weekend. But enjoy your time. Have the turkey, have the gravy, and then get your ass on the treadmill. Bye.